Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Trade the Pool live stream. It's my favourite day now, Monday. You used to love it. We're here with Mitch as well. How are you doing, Mitch?
What's going on, team? How we doing? Ready to get after it? It's another beautiful Monday, and they don't call me Money Mitch for anything. It's Monday also. Throw up all the M's. Let's get it going. It's Trade the Pool. Let's get it started, team.
All right.
What's going on, guys?
We have a public holiday here in London, so it's a little bit quiet on the Globex session on the overall market session, but it is gradually edging higher this morning. I've got a level up here sitting at 128 or 130 is the kind of the first level, but it's a big wide pull from the big push down that we've had all the way down.
Share for me, Scott, if you can.
Sure, man.
All right. That way we can see those great charts there. We got to get those charts up. All right. We'll see what happens this week, of course, as the SPY is trying to come back. Will it be value? Will it be growth? Let us know in the chat. What are you guys looking at?
All right, so there's that level sitting up there, that big red box that it's just been edging towards. And I think we're going to try and make for that today. We'll see, but we've got buy-side pulls sitting down here at 17816. So that's on the bigger time frame. So we'll get into that a little bit more. We've got just a normal tag level that these NQ kind of likes. You can see we had one there this morning at 36 and we've got one just tagged in at 72 that it likes to work off of, so we can expect it to come back for another look, and we'll keep drawing these in as we go along. But the next one we have on the Nasdaq right here is sitting just about 50 050 right there, so we'll see if we can come down and grab that or not, or whether it wants to continue higher there. Not too much on the small cap plays. I've got BENF, some fintechs that are going up that we'll take a look in the second. What you got on this morning, Mitch?
All right. Well, looking around right now, I'm going to take a look, of course, overall market first. SPY is trying to come back towards that 515. Let's take a look at the sectors, and then we'll go into certain names. Of course, a lot of earning stocks out there. So if you guys have a stock, let me know. Definitely take a look here. Utilities starting to go higher, and this is an area that I've been watching for a little while now. We'll see if this can continue moving here. Utilities definitely on the radar, and you guys can take a look at this by XLU, or you guys can go into certain stocks, right? XLU now really starting to lift in the last couple of days. Usually isn't the sexiest of names, but I'll tell you right now, they usually have a nice pattern when they break out on long-term trend lines, and this is exactly what I'm seeing in Duke. Nextera Energy, look at that. That's really starting to get going. That's probably one of the best in the space. Southern Company, you got a bunch of names here. Dominion Energy, Excel Energy is one that's going to be on my radar right now. Definitely has pulled back. Let's see if it can start climbing its way back, and that's in the utility space. Of course, we can keep going. We can take a look at some technology. Apple in the news today, of course, as Warren Buffett sells some Apple. Looks like he's getting tired of Apple, or probably just trying to bring down some of that exposure, right? It was like over 40% exposure to Apple. Apple pulling back this morning. We'll see if it's able to get another lift, or will it start to come down with that Warren Buffett mention. Nice little spike this morning. Keep your eyes also on NVIDIA. A lot of people watching this play here to see if we can recover 900 and make another tech run. We'll see what happens with the tech names. Of course, they've been slowing down a little bit. And then, of course, there's some earnings stocks today definitely to pay attention to. We could take a look at there's Spirit Airlines. There's a bunch of the kind of interesting smaller names right now. Spirit down big, of course. This has been getting hit, and probably going to continue getting hit, but we can maybe look to see if the other airlines bounce back. American Airlines on my radar for another 14 push, maybe getting it back there towards 1550. So I'll have on alert here for a 1425 cross there on American Airlines. We'll see if that starts to move. Palantir also getting earnings today. This is a retail favorite. Hey, if you guys like Palantir in the chat, let me know, guys. This is starting to recover. A lot of people viewed this as an AI play, right? Well, it hasn't made an insane move, but on February, right, it had that spike, has been gone sideways. Now the consolidation has been built up. Can it make it to 25? We'll be on the radar today on Palantir. And another retail favorite, Lucid Group. Who remembers this squeezer? This one, the last time it squeezed, you guys can see it. It went all the way up there towards 17. We'll see if this one can get the motor moving and get back above $3 today. That's kind of the spot where I'd kind of pay attention to it. That's Lucid Group earning stocks. And of course, we got Disney coming tomorrow. So we'll see what happens with Disney today. Nicola, Reddit on the radar this week. Who's traded Reddit, man? Have you been able to trade Reddit yet, Scott?
We traded it on the actual IPO, but that was it. I haven't looked at it since really. So we can have a look. I was just having a look at LSID though. If I can just switch over, and then in a sec, I want you to go back and recap that root trade. Right, we're looking at the chat here. Nolly's saying what a dump that was. How did you like? Did you hold it for the rest of the day? Nolly wants to know.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about that root. Let's just go straight to the root, right to the roots, man. It's all about the roots. And this one was a killer trade, guys. Best trade of the week, and it actually bounced back the account, right? I've had a tough kind of like Monday and Tuesday, right? And one trade can bounce you back if you can stick in the mathematical advantage. Root was definitely that stock for me, guys. I was trading this at 85. Okay, so let's go towards like a 5-minute chart so I can kind of scroll you back. I wish I still had it. Let's be honest, right? I mean, it's at $56 now. But we were trading this pattern on a little bit of a bounce back, looking for this to fade back down, right? At an average around 85. As it started to come down around 75, I was able to cut some of it. And then I cut the rest of it at 71. I just left a throw order out there. I was like, well, guys, I'm going to go have some lunch. If I come back, who knows? Maybe lunch paid for itself by letting the market work. So essentially, lunch did pay for itself here with Root as it went down there to 70. And man, if I would have held this overnight, the next day, this was trading at 60 or 65, even down to 55. That would have been $30 on the share. Top trade on this was near what? Close to 16 bucks. I'll take that any day, guys. You can't get mad about that. Root. Big trade for us. And the big part on this one, remember the spread action on this, Scott? It wasn't easy. And I think that there's an important thing to note. What did I do? I went at it at two shares, kind of built up the average using the limit orders, using some execution fees, but actually to my advantage. You won't hear that much, but right here, I'll definitely give you guys that tip that sometimes you can use orders to actually give you a benefit. That's why I talk about sometimes we want to trade like the algorithms. And what do the algorithms do? They separate their orders out, right? They don't necessarily put just a block order at $9. So that's one tip that I'll definitely drop out there. I sometimes try to trade like the algos and build up that position, and that's what helped in the root trade.
We'll be touching on more of that later with the dark pools as well. We'll be taking a closer look at what you're talking about there in terms of those algorithms and those orders and now they're here. I just want to take a little, you've just mentioned it, Lucid, and I've got that breaking out again. Like we said, it's done it a few times before. It's doing it again today. It's broken out of those lows and that manipulation zone and covered the back side of it. It's already hit up there over the past couple of days to that first benchmark. Mitch is looking for that $3. I've got $3 up there that it can climb through to the top level being at 302. If it does break benchmark 1, the benchmark 2 is sitting up here at 345 with the bogey level in there at 323. So just bear that in mind. We'll see what we've got. Just jumping down to the 2-minute. What's going to hold this up today specifically is seriously low on sketchy volume at the moment. But if we take that pre-market low to that pre-market high, right now it's going to be 278. So if we're going to continue to kind of try and pump this up, this 275 to 278 area is where we'll be looking for, that money to come in on the tape and see if we can't get a push out of that on LCID. The other one I've got going today is BENF. Again, this was another push. Is a fintech company that seems to be trending a little bit this morning. It was up there on Friday. So not sure whether this is backside, but we do know it's kind of holding that 50% area from where it came from. And it's just holding its buy side liquidity pool at the moment. So if it's going to go any higher, it's got to break above that kind of 1175 and close above it. Else, this could just be a pop to drop today. So keeping an eye on BENF. Any other tickers you've got, throw them in the chat. Tiny T, good morning. Dave, Bullseye, Great Scott. Oh, Scotty C, Boogie Woogie, all in the house today. And looking forward to doing some trading with you today. What else you got on, Mitch?
Noel talking about the guy who pumped Lucid before that Nikola. Oh, yeah, man. I still remember that situation with Nikola. I mean, that's just hilarious. Pushing down a truck, yet getting GM to buy and invest. I remember that. I don't know who made that decision at GM, but yeah, they're certainly probably not around with the company anymore. But that's how it goes sometimes, man. We'll see if some of these SPACs start to come back. I'm still keeping an eye on some of those. I remember DNA was one that was getting above the $1 spot, and it was building that volume. It did that classic move where it pulled back below the dollar. Now I'm going to look for it to reclaim that dollar. There's a lot of these SPACs that have hung around for like 2 or 3 years that are now getting to the point where the volume is starting to build. I need to see moments like this to give me confidence. That amount of volume could signal what? Maybe a potential change in trend, right? As investors finally see the value coming into the stocks. We'll see what happens there on stocks like DNA. And you had one up, I think, for a second there. Bolero, look at that SPAC. That thing's getting wrecked right now. That's a SPAC also. No one going bowling anymore? Seems like it. I don't know. When's the last time you went bowling, Scott? I don't know about you. It's been a while for me.
Well, without the kids, probably about 2 weeks, probably about 5 years ago. With the kids, about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Smart man. Get him to use some of that energy, right?
That's it. So I have Bolero here. Look, we got these earnings plays today. Bear in mind, some of these are morning earnings, like Bowl. Some of them will be evening earnings, but these are the big ones they're looking at on the relative volume today. Coming into this as PLTR there, BCRX, PFRT, and yet Bowl smacked into its sell side liquidity there on that announcement. And then now it was holding its buy side just for a second, as now it has cracked to the downside. So watch out for more sell side for that one. If it's going to come back, and look for some liquidity, you're going to take that earnings release higher to the low. And we're going to be looking at just above $12 to $13 for that. If it's going to come back and try and take some of that before we go down further. How are we feeling about NVDA? What's NVIDIA like this morning? Let's have a look.
Yeah, a lot of people looking to think for that 900 breakout. At least that's what I heard on the word on the street, as I like to say, on the Twitter streets out there. But what are you seeing in NVIDIA this morning, Scott?
Just pre-market, looking for if it's going to continue up and try and head to that. Wouldn't look for it to go too much lower necessarily than kind of 888. That's a number it's been toying around with, 888 on a few of these sessions. But this is the buy-side pull. Switch on of liquidity, kind of acknowledge that area a little bit. But if we're looking at a little bit further, its most recent one's going to be coming back from... Well, we're going to have to take this guy here to the absolute high. So that's going to be a little bit lower. If it does want to push and grab a little bit more, is going to be down here. It's another place that I would look for that money flow to come in on NVIDIA. Else the upside, we are just looking for that round number of 900 at the moment on NVDA. Trader Life, good morning. How you doing? Good to see you. Oh, we got Stir Fry. This is my first morning doing the challenge, attempting to get funded. It's my normal account, says $0 balance. You will always start off on $0 and you work your way up from there. Stir Fry.
Yeah, don't worry. That means that you haven't won or lost money, man. So don't worry. Don't stress too much. Start to focus on what you can do today to have success, right? I think a lot of the times when we start that new challenge, the number one thing that we want to do is just trade our game. What's our strategy? What can we do today that is up our alley, right? Go ahead and nail it. Let us know how it goes for you. And if you need any help looking into the market, what's moving, we're here for you.
Saying that, we've got someone's on EBS. I just saw EBS in the chat. We had that pumped last week. EBS looking from the very low to that high that we had on the pump. I've got that resting liquidity down here between 220 and 260. That is where it can just end up, right? That's kind of where it could end up, no matter if it takes 2 days to get down there or not. That's where it could end up. To see if we are going to get down to that, you'd need to see the sell side liquidity areas hold. And right now we've got that one up there around 425 to 450. So that's where I'm looking for on the sell side. So if we get a pop up here to 420, that could be a nice fade down, whether it's over the morning session or the next few sessions. We won't know, but that's what I'll be looking for on that. Else, if we break up above 450 and close, then we can expect a momentum run. Looking up here, benchmark 2 sitting at 450 to 460. That's EBS for you.
All right. How is the small caps? I'm looking around to find what type of plays are out there on my scanner. I see ADCT as one of the ones out there. And of course, is a smaller play in the $5 range. We'll see what happens out there. But starting to take a look at some of the small caps out. I know, Scott, you got an eye out for some of these. What are you seeing in small cap land?
I had that LCID and also the ALLR's been there and gone again. So we saw that just on the 2nd of May, and we also saw it back again. It done a nice little pump back here on the 12th of April. And it's on the scanner again today, ALLR. But this is the good thing about what we're doing here for you is ahead of time whether these. Yeah, it might be on your scanner still right now. In fact, it's at the top of one of mine, but it's hit that benchmark. Now, all we can say is, right, that could be over for the session, but you might get everyone looking at that scanner and seeing it come on. We know that buy side liquidity is down here around $1.05. Can we see that come back to it before we get a more push up? There is another level up there at 150 to 170, but we are talking, we're looking for kind of 50 cents here unless it goes supernova, kind of $1. We've got a target up there of 2. But we're kind of dealing with intraday and daily levels here. So these intradays, it's already hit benchmark 1. The intraday swing is benchmark 2 at 150, and the dailies are not sitting too far away up there at $2 on ALLR. Bull was there, PFRT was on the earnings. There was one that was calling out. Oh, yeah, BENF was there also. That one is the sell side liquidity pool, currently sitting in buy side. What was the one you called out?
The one ADCT.
ADCT.
Yeah, just coming up on my gainers and losers list on, of course, Trade to Pool. I use it often in the mornings, guys, to find what's moving out there. Check it out.
Okay, what we've got here. So playing off these lows from the beginning of May. Just take that spread down the bottom and see what we've got. Yeah, see, so that's already tacked into benchmark 2 for me. So that's probably it for, that's probably the high for ADCT. Unless it goes supernova, right? You can't, this benchmark 2 there, it is a benchmark of a program trade of a job to be done for this stock. And it seems to me that job was done pre-market. Remember, there are no liquidity providers, there are no market makers in pre-market. If there's a specific job that has to be done, if it is getting to some expiry of some warrants, getting the exercise price to hit, getting it above $1, anything like that, to stay into the Nasdaq and stay on the exchange, that sort of action can be done pre-market, and it can literally be done and finished in pre-market before those market makers show up. So a lot of the time, that's why you see it on the scanner, but the job's actually done. So now all I know is if we can close above 680, that this could go supernova, because it could literally do it all again, which here is the $2 range. So if we do close above that, you can tack another $2 onto this price here at about 680. So that's ADCT for you.
I got one more for you, Scott. I think we talked about this one last week. CTMX.
Oh yeah.
The reason I'm liking this is that a lot of times when I'm looking at these smaller names, one thing that I look for is like a big pop and sideways action, not necessarily even pullback action, but staying in the top quartile of the price action, like this one's doing in here. Why? Because you're kind of building that volume really close to the breakout spot. Let's be honest, above 5, this stock could break out and continue the move, versus what a lot of times these pennies do, right? They get to that 6 move and then they pull back all the way to like 3, 50% of the move. This is not 50%. It's staying in the top. That's one thing to note here and on the radar. What do you see, Scott?
Yeah, I've got that as well. So one thing I like to do is, like I said last week, whether it's economic data releases on the overall market, whether it's an earnings play, that's the day of the catalyst, right? So what I'm looking for here is I love putting VWAP and anchoring it to the catalyst. So here we go. I've anchored the VWAP down here. And look, it's like essentially a 1, 2, 3 day VWAP that is holding every single time we push down. Also looking at this, obviously on the LiquidVision levels, we'll be sitting smack into a buy side pull. So we've got the catalyst VWAP sitting there, we've got the buy side pull sitting there, and it just can't get below it. For a small cap to hold it this long, you would expect it to have already faded below that $4 mark and come back down. Yeah, so looking to see if this appears on the money flow today, see if we can't get some volume off of that, and if so, I think we know what to do on that one.
Yeah, definitely going to be on the radar. I like when they can. It just needs that volume. That's all it needs. It just needs volume today, and approaching that breakout level. We'll see what happens. Yeah, it's going to be a fun day. A down move that I see getting some action. Hey, what did you know it? GameStop was getting some action towards the end of the week last week, and that was a quick move. Like, look at that move here. It was from Thursday. And to like Friday, it was 52% move, Scott. That's a pretty nice, interesting move if you're able to nail that on the long side, right? And what I like about it is that it's doing like this type of move where it's repeated, right? A nice big push, pull back to moving average. 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 So when the stock can do that repeatedly, we can try to find that balance, right? Can it repeat that pattern, especially when it's the same pattern over and over, right? If you're seeing it, probably other traders are seeing it. So it becomes that self-fulfilling prophecy, right? We'll see what happens here in GameStop if it can do that same thing again. So it's pulled back, now starting to get that volume. Now I'd want to see it pop above 15 and hold these pre-market lows. So right now we have pre-market lows towards what? 1470, 1471. Can it hold that area and get the pop towards the open? And maybe it could do a little run to 16. Am I saying that it's going back there towards, 17, 18? No, but I think we could maybe get a little bit of a pop here and get it back here closer towards the other support or resistance would be closer to 16. We'll see what happens in GameStop. What? And even the Molin, or the Molinator, as I like to call it, because this one will give you cavities if you stick around for too long. But yeah, Mullen Automotive, MULN. I'm telling you, Scott, this is a stock that can never go away because whatever they do, they somehow keep it around. I have to scroll back and show people that. Do you see that? $400,000. And it's all because of the splits, man. 1 for 25, 1 for 9. And then you know what? They said, you know what the hell? 1 for 100.
Why not? Why not?
Why not, right?
Give them what they want.
Just a little bit more dilution. Let's just go as far as we can do it, guys. Let's do 100.
Hey, listen, I've
man.
just been looking at GME that you've done there, right?
Yeah.
That spike in, look at this, from Wednesday, May the 1st, come up there. That's gone smack into that bed. Look at that push from benchmark 2 to benchmark 1, right? So what level did you say we could get back to here possibly?
The 16, I see, like kind of coming back into that range. That's like the middle of that trend right now.
Because I think, all right, I'm lower than that, but
no, I mean, that's going to be kind of that washout, right? Washing out probably those Friday traders and then getting those rebuys. I mean, this is something definitely to catch, right? It's nothing that's on my radar for being the biggest catalyst, but hey, traders are looking at it.
Yeah, so I got them up there at 6. So it's definitely, if we can get anywhere lower and catch kind of a bid on that to push up and catch that money flow in. Like we said last time, we don't always get to these, right? This is if they need to come down to it and get it. But if there's sell side liquidity, they'll go for that first, and then this becomes our target, right? But we just know there's a play between these two levels, and if we're catching the long and we break the sell side, then we need to start looking at Twitter and Reddit and elsewhere.
Oh, I'm ready to get after it, guys. Okay, so how much buying power do I know I have? So if you click on that where you have your projected balance, you should be able to look in there. Buying power is going to depend on which package you have, things like that. So definitely click on that projected. You can go to the account, right, and then see a little bit more of what you have. There's different ways to see what your buying power is for the day and what you have left. So definitely take a look into it. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us, right? Because that's what we're here for. We're here to try to help you guys continue pushing forward and find what is your, like, anything you need to learn from the platform. That's especially what we're here for. Get after it, stir fry. Go get that stir fry, right?
XBPs.
All right, CTMX, man. That's probably one of my top watches out the gates. And I'm also, of course, still keeping an eye on those cannabis stocks as they've been going sideways. That's one to watch. Let's take a look at XBP. Take a look at that, Scott. What do you see there?
I've got well into a benchmark already on the pre-market this morning. Pretty much totally ignored that. This is the bogey level. Remember, I haven't put the bogey level smack in the middle here. That is like 50% of the way between the two. Sometimes it can hit there, pull back to benchmark 1 and then go for benchmark 2. That's quite a run that we've had this morning on that. So the resting liquidity pool from this morning's pre-market's going to be sitting down around $3 to $2.50. But watch out for that benchmark at 394. That can hold, like I said, for another push up. So there's kind of two levels to keep your eye on this morning. We've got this $3 area and this $4 area to see if we can't get some money flow and get one more push up there. We'll get an exhaustion bar perhaps up there, and then we'll see if it's time to look at any shorts on that. We're up and we're running. We're off. Get the bell out. We are on.
Let's get after it, guys. Let's get after it. All right, if you guys see any stocks moving out there, you guys see anything you guys want to talk about, definitely throw it up. Let's get after it. Let's see what's going on in the market. SPY was making a little move towards the open. Now it's a quick little pullback. We'll see if it gets bought up here, and we'll see if we're able to find an opening trade here. Was looking to see if CTMX was going to get some volume coming in immediately. Not seeing too much there. But looking around, guys, to try to find some good trades today. Let's get after it. Let's see what we can come up with.
I think we'll Bullseye. We just want to acknowledge what you're saying in the chat there. We will get Tim to take a look at that. You've got your questions. You keep getting muted in the Discord. We'll have a word with Tim on that one.
Yeah, Bullseye. We'll look into that. And unfortunately, we don't personally take care of the Discord, but we'll do the favor and reach out to find out what's going on there. Definitely send us also an email with that, and we'll make sure that gets answered for you. Looking around, guys, trying to find the moves here. I'm seeing Tesla show up there on the scanners. Nice little jump right out the gates there. Can Tesla get moving? 185 seems like an important resistance that it's fighting. We'll see if it's able to get through that resistance right now. You can see how it spiked right to it. Let's see if it pulls back here after spiking through that 185. I'd look for pullbacks towards 184 to maybe play on that one, maybe 183.60s. There's the break of 185. Now let's see if we get this quick little pullback action back into this gap here space. That's the way I could play the Tesla move. Let's see if it comes back into that space. You could do a little bit of a what I call a VWAP bounce. That's that dotted line that you're seeing on the screen.
SGE is running here. It's literally coming in with some money flow right now as we speak at $2. Oh, just trying to see what we could have on this pre-market high. All right, certainly got a punch above 220 if it's going to go and pop with momentum, but there's only a Momo play on that at the moment, really, because it's already running. Okay, let's see where it could get to.
Looking around, guys, trying to find the play here. Trying to see something stand out to me first, right? Not trying to jump into too much too early. XBB is definitely showing up on the scanners. That's on the pullback below 4 now. PACB showing up. That's a marine play. Mullen on the pullback there. Mara on the radar today, so definitely keep your eyes on some of those crypto plays. Mara trying to load up there. Could make a move to 19 today is kind of the move that I see. I'd like a reload at 1850s and then seeing it start to make a move. Not much, though, right now at the gates there. If you see anything, let me know, Scott. Going on out there.
TCBP is looks like it's come straight back for its buy side. Let's have a quick check here. So I'm hearing that come out of there just as we speak here. So it has literally been resting there. What's the volume on this guy?
I kind of like that one. That's an interesting one there.
Yeah. Yeah, I might give this a little go. It's going to be a tight stop.
See, they take 2 there for you.
Yeah, there's a volume bar there, wasn't it? Let's see if we can punch above this $2.
Paramount getting a little bit of a lift after Buffett said, yeah, that was a bad buy. I don't know who convinced him on that one. Someone had to have convinced him, because even the day that he bought it, or the day that it at least came out, I was like, what? Like, why would you buy this? Like, there was nothing technically that told me, yeah, I want to buy this. There's TCPB through the $2 spot. Doesn't look too bad there. We'll see if it could able to continue. Another hot stock. Definitely hot stock. I got a note there. Square block. Big push there out the gates. That's definitely one of the top moves. I kind of like that play there. I'm going to be watching for that. SPY now making a nice up move here. So that's definitely something to watch in the top sectors: energy, communications, basic materials, and industrials. But one thing to note, technology also green, starting to play catch up. And so is industrials. They're pretty strong there. We'll see what happens.
So SGE was on the tape, went straight into that sell side. There's not really enough in it for me to get involved in this one because the buy side's down here. Obviously, you've got to anticipate a break sometime, but 180s. So that buy side. Yeah, 160 to 170 would be the target for me on that one at the moment. Yeah, otherwise it's just going down from where it was at 140. But I'm hoping. Oh, TCBP is seeing a little bit more of a volume above that $2. So I'm looking, see if we can't get back up to that 250 area. Or 260 would be nice, but 250 is the play I'm looking for on this one.
All right, one that I am keeping on the radar is Cocoa, Vita Coco Company. Interesting name. Not seeing much there right now. Out the gates, a lot of times I try to take a little bit of a play here, but there's not much that I'm seeing continue the volume. Did a nice push. Square was a nice one out the gates, but we'll look for some pullbacks on that.
All right. What else we got here? Did you say MULN didn't?
Yeah, I was pulling back. I did see that.
Okay. Let's bring that one in. Yeah, it's looking for that play. I like to see around this area. Nothing to do with these other levels, but that color change around this area. That's a really nice pullback there. We'll see what happens on that. See if we get another push.
Carvana with a little bit of a push. It's a name that I haven't looked at in a while that the chart actually looks interesting here. Is Affirm.
All right, let's see if we can hear that TCBP on the tape again. Here we go. Come on, it'd be enough to push it to 250. See if we can get you. Here we go.
Yeah, some growth names showing up on the radar today. So I'm seeing the SPY start to make an up move. Those are interesting plays for me, that's for sure.
XBP, we spoke about it in pre-market. There's that pullback to the backside of the benchmark that we were saying. It's just working its way off of that at the moment.
Mara almost to 19, guys. That's a trend out there. Just wanted it to be known.
It's got to deal with sell side up here on XBP at 430, 450, either as target or as a potential for short, but that's a big name this morning.
Tesla pushing strong out there, guys.
All right. What else we got on here? Relative volume wise, QLD. Relative volume leader today. That's a Pro Shares. Again, coming off of that moving average bounce that we've got. Too much of a chase at the moment there on that one. Well, you got Mitch, anything on the radar?
Utilities pulling back hard here. Could be like kind of hourly pullbacks, trying to catch a little bit of a dip buy. So I'm looking at something like that and maybe take a swing. Let's see Nextera on that pullback. Not much pullback in Nextera, at least. Excel pulled back a pretty good amount. I'm looking around, guys. I'm not seeing much that I want to come after this morning right out the gate. So I'm just saving my ammo right now. Looking around, I see UPLD. I can take a look at that right quick, at least take a peek. Definitely a little spike towards 275. Looking for a reload maybe towards 258s. And then we need it to get right up there towards kind of the 290s, $3 spot. But doesn't look too bad there. Not a bad name. Definitely seeing a trend of those kind of the miners. So keep your eyes on that. Upstart showing up. Credit service stock definitely getting a lift. I'm seeing some of these growth names like that would be under ARKK. Some of those types of names definitely getting a little bit of a lift here. So pay attention to those. Twist, PACB, Hood coming back after getting hit this morning. Coin getting a nice little bounce. And DNA back towards $1. I talked about that one this morning. Can that one start to get a lift? Maybe going to 110. Smaller name, of course, penny name, but getting a little bit of some love today.
All right, SGE's kind of target there off the sell side down to the buy side for 30 cents there. I can draw the levels. I can't trade them all, though. But SGE's there. That's a quick look at TCBP. Oh, there we go. Looking for that. I'm just going to close that. We'll just tick into there at 50. 43 still on the money here, and target out. Okay, so that's the TCB trade in there at 205, out at 250, and now we'll see what it's going to play with here.
So I'm talking about, Scott. Get it, my friend. A little money rain on that. Oh, that wasn't a bad one at all. I think we both saw that $2 spot, and you went after it. Way to kill it, my friend. Way to kill it.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Now it's whether or not we can break this 283. So we'll see if we've got. Oh, there's a bigger gap up there, but for me, I'm happy with that one. We'll see. We'll see if we can get through up here. We'll keep an eye on the tape with the money flow as well. Oh, here it comes again. That was a big shout. Did that halt? No. All right.
Yeah, normally I'm coming after it, but I'm not seeing too much right now.
What the volume leaders we got?
Looking around, guys. Looking around. Trying to find that right trade right now. Tesla was a nice move out the gates. That's for sure.
Let's see
Let's see what's going on in the comments here. What are you guys taking a look at? Let me know.
TTMX? No, didn't make anything on that, did we? It's nice. Just no volume on that. That's a shame. But
yeah, exactly.
No doing yet.
Not enough juice in that one this morning.
ALLR, again, that would have been, if we're pre-market trading, that would have been the benchmark down to that buy side. So now, again, just listening to the tape, if it's got any more legs in it, this has done this a couple of times where it just pops to benchmark one and it's one and done for the day. But we'll keep an eye out to see if we get some volume on the tape coming out of this area on the buy side for ALLR.
I'm looking.
TCBP is halted now. That was halted 42 minutes and 43 past the hour. So 5 minutes on top of that, we will get a resume. And we'll see if that halt up gives us, like we say, the long traders don't mind a halt up, but no one likes a halt down. So we'll see what we get right at this level. SGE on the tape again. Okay, so SGE's on the tape.
All right. Chat looking at Palantir. I'll look at it with you guys. Those ARKK names. Mara now 1919, guys. Nice lift out the gates there on those minor names. They were on the radar this morning. Just haven't really pulled back. Been almost a straight move up there. Coin also in that space, definitely getting a little bit of a lift. See Wolf show up on my radar. I'm looking around, guys. Affirm is one that's on my radar right now, but needs to pull back. It's been starting to get hot again, and I like this daily chart. So you see this nice little trend change, a lot of volume buying. This is what I call kind of the undercut and rally style trade. So it undercuts a major support, rallies off of big volume. So that's the trade style. Let's see if that can continue on the day. Upstart is one that I'd also keep a watch. This is a very similar trade, right? So it's kind of changing of the recent trend, which is a bigger pullback, and then starting to turn it around with some volume. Definitely some that I'll be on the radar.
Not saying Apple looks weak there. What you got on that, Mitch?
Yeah, let's take a look there. Of course, and this is all, I think, off of the Warren Buffett news, right? Definitely turning back around. It was like the dip. Buy the dippers were in this morning, but look where it was at 4 a.m. So it's trying to maybe work its way back, some of that move from this morning that it climbed out of. Of course, this took a major hit with that Warren news. Big sell by Warren. I can give you guys the amount right now. Let me just take a look at my notes here. Kind of pull that up here for you guys. So after selling 10 million shares in Q4, He sold in the first quarter a 13% drop in the investment of Apple stake. So and this was a value of 135.4 billion, implying around 790 million shares. Of course, Apple's been doing their buyback, but Warren getting rid of some of it here. So that's something definitely to keep a watch. Big levels, so I think the breakdown is like that 182 level. If it starts to break down there, I think it definitely could fade down. Until then, it could kind of just do this 1 hour up move, 1 hour down move, and it's recollecting some volume right now. Palantir definitely on the radar. It's one that I'm going to keep on watch. Lucid is on the radar. Looking around, guys, trying to find some good ones to see here. Save hasn't really done anything. American Airlines is one that I'm looking at, maybe a 14 swing trade. So this would be a swing trade to go higher here on American. Actually don't mind it at all here.
Oh.
I might just take a swing. Haven't taken a swing in a little while, guys.
That's not what I
heard. No pineapples here, man. All right, let's see if this can really start moving again. I'd probably risk off of like 13 here on Americans. So this is kind of a swing trade attempt here. Let me go ahead and just take a swing trade here to start the day. This is going to be small smidget here piece. Normally I get my piece into threes, so it's only going to be about like a $30 max position, a 30 share max position. First shares here are going to be at $13.98 right there. You guys saw me just buy it. Boom. Now I'm just going to sit there. I will go ahead and balance out at like $13.75 and $13.50s, then risk off with the $13 spot, which won't even be about $1 risk, about 75 cents. We'll see if this can start moving. American Airlines.
All right. SGE. Is that? No, that's still there. So TCB resumed, and I'm assuming I heard that on the tape. That's either going to be halted again or it definitely took an upside. But in any case, I was looking at SGE. I'll take a look at that in a sec. Nice move. Tape come on at 160s. Got up there to kind of 188, hit that sell side. Now coming back down again. You know what I do with these is just every swing is a new pull. So I'm going to be grabbing that up there. So kind of 169. Going into that, we're still only 20 minutes in, but if we do sideways through here into lunch, then I probably wouldn't touch it until after lunch to see what that happens, in case you just get squeezed if you're trying to short. Back to TCBP.
Man, that XBP was a nice short. It looks like man, that thing's getting tanked on right now. Looking back, yeah, you see that and rejected that 4 pop back, and it was quite a rejection. I'm going to look for a little bit later to see if this can pop back somewhere in between, let's say 404, 405, then maybe risk off like the 420 area. So back above 4, I'm going to set an alert to let me know, and I'll let you guys know if it goes back there.
Okay, TCBP, they got that halt and then resumed, tacked higher into that pre-market high, and then looks like the sellers kind of, round dollar level on $3. Here is the backside. So we've already worked that first buy side liquidity pull from the push up. We're going to be coming in here 220 if it wants to come and get it. It's stronger it's more bullish if it doesn't come and get it, if you get me. If it does come and get it, then we can still look for a slower grind out of that area with money on the tape. SGE's got the money flow right now. Mob shift obviously didn't like that TCBP, and they've moved over to SGE. So I'm guessing that's a pop through the sell side, is it? Yeah. Okay. Halted just above that sell side area. So nice work out of that. Paused and acknowledged that sell side, come back for that buy side, didn't have time to draw it in, and then run straight for the off. So let's see, there's a benchmark up there at 270. Let's see if this halts its way up there on SGE.
Looking around, guys, still no trade for me, and that's kind of uncommon for me. So I'm just more along saving the ammo, right? Looking for the right play here. Looking for maybe we start to see some pullback areas and then start to look for that. Utilities is definitely an area that I'm going to be watching.
Overall market's looking kind of attempting to keep breaking this 105 on the Nasdaq. It's had 2 or 3 attempts here this morning to try and do that. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, so again, we went from that kind of 70 area to that natural 105 on there. And it's having trouble there a couple of times. Was it there this morning? No. Okay, so that is a new high. On the NQ, so we'll see if that has any impact. What was Tesla doing off the back of that? Oh, so a similar thing, kind of knocking its head on the door there from those pre-market. Actually, that's the switch on, isn't it? So yeah, I'll get rid of that. Okay, so it's in a benchmark. So for me, that is business conducted on Tesla today. Now it just depends on the imbalance of buy or sell orders. So that's that pre-market area that we're looking to not be manipulated in. And once it breaks out of that pre-market area, then the trade is kind of on up there to the first benchmark. Similarly, there will be a benchmark too, but generally, the larger cap stocks go with the benchmark ones. So now drawing in that buy side to see if it can work its way out of there. Tesla buy side sitting down that 184.88 if it wants to continue up for the session. Let's see if it comes and grabs it or just works through that benchmark. Actually, I'll draw in the benchmark too, just in case we can get to it.
9:53, guys. It's already been can't believe it, 23 minutes, no position on just yet, but looking for the move, right? Looking for the trade, a firm on the watch on this pullback, looking for the 36 break, but would like to see it get back here closer towards 35.60s and then make that move to 36. So that's one that's on the watch. Tesla I'm seeing there, definitely one to watch. It broke right out the gates. I had this little box looking for pullbacks. I'll still look for that area around the 184 for pullbacks. We'll see if Tesla can get back there. The bros, man. This is one of my favorite stocks long term, but still didn't get back into it. I've made money in this one, believe it or not, even though this long-term chart. The key is just selling and buying it at the right time. Looking around Starbucks, is that going lower still? Man, just been hanging out. Starbucks hasn't been doing much right now, but could pick a trend. We'll see if it gets there. Disney reports earnings tomorrow, and look at Disney back up to 115 as it looks like it wants to push on the daily. We'll see if it can continue pushing.
All right, TCB rolling off of that sell side liquidity now. Looks like it does want to come back to this 220 area, but we'll see what we get in here. If we get the color change, where the red-green move around these moving averages. I much prefer it on these guys down here, these pinks, because they're aligned with the buy-side pull. So I'll get kind of two groups of buyers come in if that's the case. Of what have we got above? Yeah, but still, we don't know if we've got a huge amount of volume above that high, but we'll just let that volume tell us what it wants to do if it can get down into this 220 area. And SGE still halted. 50.49, so that's due back any second now. Let's see what that wants to do. Just a few seconds on that, I think. And if it's going to be a circuit breaker, else it's going to go 10 minutes. Are we back? $50 and 49 seconds. No, that should be back now. Looks like that's going for another 5 minutes on SGE. No, we'll have to wait. That is not resumed on a circuit breaker right now. Any volume out of CTMX? No, it's just dropping down there. XBP. How was Bolt getting on? Did that? Yeah, so that continued its downside as expected off of those earnings plays. Not sure I've got a lot else being shouted out at the moment.
Mullen maybe going for 5. Just looking at it. Just not much in what the plays that I normally look at, right? So GME did that move towards like above 16. Now I think it might just do like a retracement. It kind of went right towards the levels where I kind of expected it to kind of get up there and then just start to reject. So looking for the rejection back below 16 here. But GameStop actually moving today. It's still on the radar.
All right, just looking around these scanners here to see if there's anything else. We really just want to see that TCBP resume. Oh, there we go. Oh, no, SGE resume, sorry.
It's one of those, for me, normally it's like a little bit faster early on, but not seeing much that I'm seeing. So I'm seeing a little bit of slowdown action. So I'm looking to see if something can start to kind of point out. AGBA, that's a smaller name that we were playing earlier. That's hot today. AGBA.
Got TCBP on the tape again, very close to that buy side level.
I'm looking, team. I'm looking. I'm trying to find some trends out there. Netflix has been in a trend up.
SGE resumed, did we say?
No, not yet.
No.
NVIDIA did get through that 900 spot today. That was an area that was watched for a lot of traders. And look at NVIDIA on the 5-minute. Look at that. That's impressive. So if you're able to nail that NVIDIA trade, shout out to you guys. Good trade there. Tesla strong today also. So those are probably the two of the best trades I think I've seen in the SPY this morning or the Qs, whichever way you want to kind of take a look at it. But definitely those are some of the top trades right now. AMD coming back. I think that's one to watch. I'd like AMD to do a pullback, quick pullback to like 153, but it's strong right now. Recovered 152, kind of a red to green move there on AMD. Palantir finally starting to get the motor going up there to 2483s. I'm looking for a pullback to 2340s to 2440s to be the VWAP, but I'm still looking for it. Affirm trying to break that 36 here. We'll see if it does pull back still to the VWAP. Still no pullbacks on the 5 minutes. Could break the 36. This is definitely on my radar.
What'd you say you're looking for on PLTR, Mitch?
Palantir, I was looking for a pullback to the VWAP around 2440s. 5-minute VWAP somewhere in that range. There's also resistance right around kind of like the 2440s, 2444s. Look for the nice little quick little pullback into that space. Rebuyers buy up where it broke out from around that 2440 spot.
Right, sorry, Mitch. SGE resumed here.
Let's do it.
SGE resumed, smacked right into benchmark 2 here. Let's see what it does now. It's rejected off there. If it, the volume on this is huge right now on the tape. All right, let's see if we can punch this 250. Let's get SG on. Right, there we go. If it can break and hold above 280, it's going to come flooding on. Let's see if we got. Yeah, it's back. That's got to be another halt.
Another halt there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. At least I got it halted.
Yep.
It's a hard one there. Apple trying to make a little bit of a comeback. We'll see what happens on that one. Google heading down pretty fast there. Q's pullback yet? Nope. No pullback yet in the Q's.
No, Q's just sitting up there.
Yep. A little bit of a trappy day for me, and that's why I'm kind of just hanging out. I just don't find trends, and normally I'm more than willing to take a trade. I got no problem. I mean, I got the swing trade on, but that's like nothing really. Just looking around, trying to use some buying power, trying to get something, but at the end of the day, need to see some moves. You guys out there, let us know what you guys are taking a look at. TCBP, but back to 225s.
Power just looked at his pre-market opening high there or thereabouts, but it's just settled now. Nothing doing there. Snow was on this morning.
Right. Might take a shot in TCPB.
Yeah. It's working out of that pool. What you got?
Down one, up one, down two, up two, down three, up three. So I want to come to 215 here, then turn around. So if it can start to build some volume at the 215 area, 220 area, can maybe go long off of the two. Definitely wouldn't want it to break two. This is kind of like just pull back, get right back up there. Another thing we can use is the retracement from the breakout spot, right? From the bottom of that little peak there, back up there, 61.8. Puts it right around the 225 spot. So this is going to be that important spot to kind of hold. Really wouldn't want it to break down the next support.
Yeah, I like this. I think if I hear this on the tape anywhere around here, yeah, I'd prefer it a little bit lower, but anywhere around here.
Yeah, I agree with you. Just a little lower. Like, give me that fake out, that fake pop, pull back quick, and then take off. That's the way I like it. But definitely one to watch. A lot of things. Another thing to note, though, is this is the area where a lot of times it's rejected on the daily. So if you look on the daily chart there, look at that. That's something to note, right? On TCPB, you can see it pops.
Yeah,
a lot of times comes right back to this area, and then there's not much. So I think we need to see if we get some volume there to actually pick up on the pullback.
Yeah, gotcha.
So that's what I'd be looking for. Like, can you give me this volume that we got here again as it pulls back there? That's what I'm looking for. Like, give me a nice little pop showing me buyers trying to take control.
Where's the VWAP on this?
VWAP right now on the 1 minute is a little bit higher. We're talking closer to the 240 spot. But on the 5 minute, I like to use that one too. That's 236. So slightly above.
Okay.
Showing you that the pullback has been a little bit excessive. It needs to do like a quick turnaround here. What I like about it is that it could be kind of that cup and handle pattern, right? So you guys see the cup here with that wick, kind of that cup, and then it needs to handle out now and really get strong. There's a little fake out to the downside, 219. Let's see if the buying steps in here.
Yes. It's one shout. The one shout now on it. I wanted it lower, but it's on the tape again.
Definitely showing up there. SPY going higher. Firm now above 36, and that's just continuing to climb, so that doesn't look too bad. Can NVIDIA make the next leap up? Could keep going there.
NQ just managed a new higher day there. See if it's got any follow through.
It's one of those days where I'm not seeing those pullbacks that I normally like to come after, but all right, you let me know if you see anything on that TCBP. I'm going to get off of it, but like always, guys, let me know. What are you guys looking at there? Looking at Noel, looking at Boeing? Boeing. I don't know if I can trade Boeing to the upside, man. Oh, Boeing has been one of those things where, like, even when you buy a flight ticket now, I look at the flight and I'm like, oh, man, I'm flying Boeing. Oh, can't be Airbus.
What's it make you nervous?
Oh man, it on a tendency it does. I don't know why, but the bigger planes, especially the smaller ones, I feel like they haven't had too many issues. But man, those big ones, I don't know, man. It's kind of scary when you're on those things. You see that tape out the window. You know, I've seen those kind of held up engines with tape. I'm like, tape, guys, really?
Yeah, you duct tape.
Yeah.
You'll be all right for another 5,000 miles.
A little bit of packaging tape, and you know, a little painter's tape. Just put 2 on there; it'll be all right. All right, guys. We'll see what's going on out there, guys. Waste management. Yeah, that's how I'm talking today. It feels like I'm talking a little trash. Tesla finally a little pullback there.
We can fill the gap with you choose we trade if there's not too much on. We can get some ideas.
All right, guys. Let's take a little fun time here. Normally we do this a little later towards 10:30, but we do want to talk a little bit about the dark pools. And since this is a moment that I think we can actually have fun with this trade, I'm thinking about taking Tesla long, but I'm gonna let you guys kind of determine the trade here. So definitely smash the like. This is when you guys get to take control. So definitely take control, guys. Let me know in the chat. What are you guys thinking about Tesla today? Long, short? What are you guys thinking? Throw a 1 if you guys like the long. Throw a 2 if you like the short. A little of you choose action, guys. Of course, you guys see where I think the pullback's getting to right now. I'll take the trade regardless, whichever way, but definitely throw up a 1 or a 2. What are you guys thinking? Long, short? We're going to try to tame the Tesla dragon, of course. I'm still liking the longs. It's kind of like this little pullback buy up area, but this is definitely the trappy area right here. 185s on pullback, seeming like an interesting area. There's some numbers coming in there. Tiny T with a 2. Shaw saying, no, we're going long, Tesla. Bulleye with a number 2 there, saying that, yeah, no, let's go short in that one. Dave G bringing up Square. That Square's dropping. That was one that I was looking for pullback opportunity. Doesn't look too bad there. One thing that I'd be looking for is right underneath 71 on Square. So let's see if we get that pullback and then a recovery. But that was a quick little pullback there in Square, trapping some buyers. Best to take a short on Tesla, says Scott. Oh, the battle's on. I think it's an even battle right now, guys, in the chat. So definitely smash the like if you guys are enjoying the action. So I got 2. What do we got? 3 shorts, 1 long, and then another long coming in here. So 3-2, guys. Let's take it 1 more minute here. See if we get a couple of shorts or longs to come in. What are you guys thinking on Tesla here? Tesla broke the VWAP though. Yes, but one area that I look for on Tesla is these kind of like 50 EMA pullbacks, kind of into this 184. Big wick there, recovers 185 by the close. That's how I look at it sometimes on the 5-minute. Let's see what happens here. There's another 2 here coming in. J Dub said, you know what? Short that bad boy. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get after it, team. Let's go for the short. So what we're going to do is I expect that 185 pullback, right? So I'm going to look for a 186 entry right now. Just a little small pop to 186. I can get short 185, 186. Then I got to risk off this 187. Look for it to come back down towards that 184 and 183. And then we'll look to see if it breaks there. But that could still be a $2 profit. Let's see what happens here. Not going to go too crazy. Just looking for a little bit of a pop to get into and take a little bit of a short on Tesla. We'll go about it at 5 shares each, maybe up to 15 shares. Don't got to go too crazy with Tesla. Let it work for you a lot of the times. The spread and the limits are definitely the best way to take advantage. Let's see if I'm able to nail this one, guys. I just need a little bit of a pop, and then I'll go for the drop. If not, I can go for the scalp through the 185, but I'd have to take like profits immediately towards 184. So I don't like to do those 1-to-1 trades. A lot of times it's 2-to-1 trades at the minimum. So that's why I'm not coming after the scalp. But is there a trade there? Hey, to each his own, right? And the shorts came in. They don't like Tesla. They don't like Elon. They're saying no to Elon. I think Elon said that Warren should buy his stock. Maybe it was like 5 years ago, but Tesla's not the same that it was 5 years ago, guys. There's a lot of people in this space, and it's become a battle of margins versus a battle of a new story. Tesla was that story stock for so long. I think it's come to a point where it's all about profitability with Tesla, and can they keep that profitability going?
Yeah, I think that's what he was saying in his earnings play, wasn't it? That was the discussion about, the competition that he's getting in that EV space. But actually, he's like, we're an AI company as well.
Yeah.
So
trying its best.
Yeah, I think that's literally what he rallied on, was that he just kind of said, look, stop talking about cars.
All right, guys, put a 186 short limit out there. Let's see if it get a little bit of a pop fill. So you see how it's been kind of declining. If I just jump into it right now, it has a tendency of just doing this little pop fade. So that's what I'm looking for now. A little bit of a pop, and then it fades off kind of this 186 range. See if we get a little pop and drop here. All right, let's get after it, team. What else we got here? I'm looking around. AMD also on the radar, but that one's looking good for upside action, especially off of the earnings. I'd look for a pullback to 153 off of a Q, pullback to the VWAP or below. So if the Qs can pull back to, like, let's say 437s, I'd look for AMD on the pullback. I'm seeing the Qs pull back right now, so that's actually a good thing for the kind of shorts or pullbacks in tech. Just need a little bit of a pop there in Tesla. I don't want to jump after the 185s, but more than willing to trade it here, guys. Saw Google going down earlier, and that's going down fast too. That's a good sign there. Apple is one that I could see rejecting the VWAP right now and then starting to come back down. So this is one that it's tried to come back over this 183 multiple times. I could go off of the 182.50s here. As a matter of fact, I don't mind it right here. Apple to the short side off the 182.50s. I'm going to let it pop one more time into this spot right here, 182.77s, and then I'm going to look for the takeout of that 182.50s. So 182.70s off the 183 risk. We'll see what happens here. Still have that order out for the Tesla, but that's if I can get it on the pop, right?
Where's your order at?
186.
186. Okay, gotcha.
So still a little ways, right? I need a little bit of a pop fill down. So coming back, like, make it look like the buyers are going to take it, right? This is all psychology, right, guys? I mean, at the end of the day, you could see that as the bullish move too. I always say there's two sides to the market, guys. If you don't think that's true, well, you might want to take a little bit of an assessment. There's always somebody who probably shorten the play that you're longing. So understanding what they're looking at is an important level too. So for the longs, if it takes back 186, going to the 187 looks like breakout city. So this is where the kind of the buy the dippers are trying to maybe attack right now off the support of 185s, looking for it to go to 186, and then it could reject the prior support as resistance.
Bullseye, yeah, I can't get the underlying either on NUVO. I can only get the warrant as well. It's one for support, my man.
All right, so Apple trying to get above that 182, 183 range. Now it's like the time if I'm going to come after it for the short. All right, let's see what we can get here. I'm doing a starter there, 20 shares short on Apple. Really want these wicks to hold now at 82, 182.90. So it just took like 20 shares. I'm willing to add it here. I want to add another 20 shares. This one's 82.60s. There's to 50s, so it doesn't look too bad already. I'm going to go a little heavier as we pop back into the 60s. So I'm looking for a little bit of the 60s. Tesla, how's that doing? I'm still keeping an eye on it to see if it can come back. Still not coming back there, guys. I still have the order out there. I told you I'd take the trade. We'll see if we get a fill or not. But taking the Apple at least. There we go. Nice little cut down again on Apple there. That looks pretty good. Now it should kind of let go. So I'm looking for like 182.50s, maybe to get another ad here. I'll be patient since it's already working for me. All right, what else is looking into the market, guys?
Just looking at SGEs, they're still toying with that benchmark. I was waiting for this sell side liquidity pool to see if I could get a tack into 296 to short. Didn't get it yet. The buy side is sitting down there. Let's remove this one. This has been broken through. The buy side down there at 212 would have been my target. But I needed to come back to 288, else it's just going to run without me down there to 215. And TCBP still down here. It does keep calling out on the tape, but it's not consistent. It's just the odd shout. So there still might be something to do down here around 210. Let's see if we can get that flush.
All right, starting to get at least some down action there in Apple. So it's down to 182.20s. I got 182.60s. It kind of did that pop and drop fail, right? So now let's see if we can take out the lows. The lows are down here towards 181.69. So that's going to be the first profit take, that 181 kind of 70s, and then looking to see if it breaks it down back through my entry. I'll probably just get out because that's the breakout back through 183. Coin moving nice, but the ATR soon filled. ATR, that's something that we can definitely talk about some time. I know today we're going to get into the dark pool action, guys. So smash the like if you guys are interested or have a question about dark pools. Throw them up in the chat now. We're going to be writing down questions. We're going to be trying to answer them for you guys. So if you have any question about dark pools, throw them up in the chat. We'll definitely catch them. There we go. Apple, let's go. Tim Cook trying to get cooked. What happened to the root, man? Root wants to keep going down, man. I ain't mad at it. Tesla not coming back, man. It's just hanging out there. It's starting to come down. There's Apple. Now 182s. There we go. All right, guys, going to set up some of this profit take here through the 182s towards the 181.60s. Let's do 181.78. All right, there you see the 94s. Let's see just a little bit more, and then I'll take half out there. Then they'll just leave the remainder break even on the rest. Looking for one more little attempt there on Apple to come down here and then take half off and then just literally put the break even stop and let this work. The market just wants to crack. Apple will be the way that I take it down. Tesla finally getting that little bounce. Let's see if we get back to that 186. Apple not wanting to break that. For right now, I'm going to cancel here, looking for it to come back through that level. Bum, bum, bum. So, of course, one of the cool ways that you guys see me trading today is to the short side, right? Not always to the long side. And I think that's one of the best routes that you guys can take, right? Is having the ability to go long and short. Trade the pool definitely helps me accomplish that. So definitely, if you haven't done so already, maybe you're just checking out the stream because you're thinking about getting a package. Go ahead and check it out, guys. If you guys have any questions about the platform, you guys see us using the execution right here, let us know. We'll definitely talk about it. Slow down time. Man, that XBP, that thing was a tank. SGE coming back there. Ooh, TCPB finally did do that kind of 215 move here.
Yeah, so moved up now for that. This is kind of where it is, where if there are buyers here, whether they're anything to do with the pool or they're just it's a nice place to get in here.
It's an interesting level to take a shot off of right now.
It's just looking at that big double top, right? It's yeah, it's we do need some volume out of this level with this trade. Let's see what we get.
Letting that Apple work for right now. Definitely don't want it to come back through my level, but right now I'm just letting it work. I'm looking at that TCPB to take a shot on it. I like that approach that it just did.
She is making a pushback now. Oh, it's a weak pullback. Yeah.
All right, guys, just took a little bit there. TCPB, TCBP. So I just took 50 shares there. Willing to take another 50 shares here, like I like 218, and then just risk off of like 212s. So it took a little bit there off of 223s.
Have a nice day, Nolly. He's done.
There you go. Get after it. Sometimes it's just in and out, right? Like a fast food restaurant, baby. Gotta take what you can get sometimes. Sometimes it's a special. Molin to 530, man. Can't stop the Molinator. Don't get cavities, guys. All right, looking to see if TCBP will wake up here.
I took a start on TCBP there and I don't know what happened there, but
yeah, let me know.
I've done this on Wednesday. It's and no, I'm not in it anymore. I do want in it. Also looking at Tesla here as well. I like Tesla long here. What's that market doing?
Comes that pullback attempt here. Need to see this get bought up and come back to the 225s. If it can do that, I'll go and add at 225s or 228s. It's cracking here. Just got to be careful. Would love to see a wick recovery here. So there's the wick. I'm going to zoom in like real close for you guys to see what I'm looking at. So now I want the body to close back above the 215. So you can see right there, we're getting a new candle. The candle closed where? 214. So a penny underneath. Let's see if it can hold now this low, this 208. We definitely don't want to, for me, I'm not going to let that 208 really break now. We need to see a quick recovery back here towards like this 228 range, and then buying to come in to take out the highs. Especially this level over here to the left. So this is where I'm going to see the struggle, maybe the 235s. Let's see if it comes back, takes out 235.
I need that red green right now.
Apple's starting to work its way back. So with that being said, I'm going to go protect my Apple position. Definitely don't want Apple to come back on me.
Is she on the tape again? No, Tesla is still heading south,
still falling,
as is the Nasdaq right now.
All right, guys, I just added a little bit to that Apple short, and I'm going to set up a stop in a second here. Let me just make sure. Average is to 182.60s. I'm going to put 182.80s. 81, buy stop here. Boom. Now I can go back and focus on the one that's more of a fast mover, TCBP. So I took a little bit of a shot there on Apple.
SG's taking the money flow at this right now. That's why we're struggling with TCBP, I think.
We got minute 30 here on the 5-minute candle. This is going to really determine it here for TCBP. This next kind of 2 minutes, next candle here especially, wanted to start working its way back to 220. About 15 seconds on this 1-minute candle. What's going on out there, guys? How we doing? I think it's
Wilson, how you doing?
Talking some dark pool action in a second here, Scott. We'll see what happens here. But TCBP, will it come back? Find out. All right, there we go. Getting that downside attempt here. Let's see if it just recovers. If not, I'm getting out, guys. At least TCBP.
Yeah, Wilson, you're right. That NUVO is hot. I haven't got it on my list of tickers, unfortunately. Only the warrant for some reason. But yeah, that is definitely on the run, guys. You're all after that one.
This is it. This is it for me on TCBP. Either it's going to go here or I'm cutting it. Seeing that $2 spot there, trying to get bought up again. There's a little recovery there.
Still looking at Tesla here, but I don't think it's got it with the markets. It's certainly not with the market here. Nasdaq trying to push down another leg.
That Tesla, man, that thing went down, but it's just stair stepping, not doing much. Coming back to that 184 reload area.
I took 50 shares at just 185. I wanted to add down here if it gets to 184.10 right now, but it needs to hold. I need to see that red green and the tape coming. Currently minus 10 on the volume of a maximum of minus 14, so that's quite a push.
All right, I gave it a chance here. I'm just setting the stop at the 201. If it comes and gets me, let it come get me. But should have already kind of turned around there. You go focus on the Apple trade. Apple trying to come back there. We'll see if it comes back or if it gets rejected here. I think a lot of this is going to depend also on the overall market. SPY, you see kind of just hanging out there at the top of the end of the range. It bounced off the VWAP there for the Qs. I think that's important. NVIDIA, right, leading the charge, especially today in the Qs. So we'll see if that can continue staying strong. It's up about 2%, a little bit over 2%. So we'll see if that can keep strong there. SGE starting going back up towards that 3. UPLD, another cheap one that's making a big move today. You guys can look out for those names to see if they can stay strong. How did Palantir end up doing? Oh, a little bit of a pullback. Fern slowly grinding higher. Holding short on Square. Holding around the VWAP. We'll see if that kind of holds in and then it comes back up, but an interesting play. Energy kind of hanging in there. SPY hanging in there. Can we get it to crack here? We'll find out.
Yeah, Nuvo's headed right back up
Out
to
of
that.
Apple, guys.
Okay, man.
Small hit there, but hey, that's what I'm trying to do right now. Keep it small because I'm just not seeing it great. Down about $12 today, guys. Just trying to battle. All right, Scott, whenever you get a chance, we can talk about some dart pool action.
Yeah, let me just see if I can pull up something on that. Give me a second. SG on the tape again. Is that pushing? All right, that's right into that sell side now. So the shorts are getting squeezed on this. They were in at 3 round number. As soon as it come in, they've gone through the halts, and if they haven't taken off, they're getting squeezed. This $3 level is now key for them to either add or this close above this 305 can see a whole new wave of momentum. So let's see if we've got anything on this. Still money on the tape here for it.
Not much, man. Not much.
That's dried up. I'm going to take a little starter and see if I can't get it to flush.
All right, the Molinator. You know it, man. Tesla, that 184 dip, man. I know you guys wanted me to short it, guys, but it's doing that dip where, like, this is the area where I think the rebuying can come back in that 184 range. We'll see if it comes back in. It's all dependent really on the overall market here, I think, as we're seeing it kind of try to battle here and make that next up move. So Tesla 184 seemed like an interesting spot. It just did that 183 spike down. So this is kind of like the area where I could see it getting rebought here off the kind of the 184s. See if we can get it to come close to that 184 again. But definitely a little bit of a slowdown today, man. At least in my eyes, I'm just not seeing as much action as I saw last week. So I'm looking around, trying to keep nailing stuff, but it's one of those days.
So SG took a start. Unfortunately, I didn't take more than I did, but 275 short on that. This is always the issue here because this swing gives me a new pool of kind of liquidity that appears here on the buy side. And it has kept coming in strong all the time on SGE. So that might be a flush, but if so long as each of these buy sides hold or they don't come and need that buy side, then, you know, that's my definition of we're still in an uptrend. This is the first sell side liquidity pool that has held. Hence, I took that position at 275. Ultimately, I needed to crack 234 to get down into my target around 208 and $2, where we could see another wave come in. So that's kind of what I'm looking for on that. So let me see what I've got here. 210. Should move this up. Else my stop's going to be up there above 303, above that sell side, because I don't want it to rip on me if it does get up there, because I'll hear that on the tape in any case. So out on Tesla, how's Tesla going? Just manage that a sec. Okay, so Tesla, I'm hoping it works out. So you took every single level, is 3 levels of that pull that they've taken, tapped into that last one. So I'm just hoping we can get above these moving averages now to get some momentum up there to 186.5, hopefully. But we've got to get past where it is right now, which will be its sell side. That's, you know, it's got to break that. It's not going to continue up unless it can break that level right there. So let's keep my fingers crossed on that one. If the Nasdaq wants to help me out, that would be great as well. But for the minute, dark pools. Dark pools is the
dark side.
The dark side, yeah, as it's called in the industry, alternative trader systems or alternative trade systems, and it makes up quite a big piece of the pie. And if you look at it, you'll see this. We've seen this. If you're an OG on the channel, you've seen this before. This 34% of what exists of mostly retail, or sometimes called household in the US, mostly retail, along with some market makers, liquidity providers, and dark pool liquidity. So the chances are that when you're executing on a cash account, that your order is routed via the dark pool. In terms of retail, that's why you all sit on the dark side. So that retail sits on the dark side, and this is published by Nasdaq. So I'm not kind of making this up or you know, breaking any NDA rules of any work I've done in the past. This is out there for you to see. Market's flashing green everywhere right now as we speak. But the point is that these dark pools exist only for institutions to cross match buy side and sell side orders. The reason they do this is to have the anonymity, to be anonymous of what they're executing. So if you look at level 2, for example, you will have orders sitting there on level 2 that you can see. If you're in a dark pool, those orders are not going to be visible. Secondly, the the time and sales that you see, if you've got a standard setup in your time and sales, you would be able to see your buyers and sellers on that. So if the standard setup, you might see green as those buyers and the reds as the sales that are filtering through on the time and sales. Let me just see if I can get a time and sales list up for you here on Tesla or something. Okay, so here's time and sales going through on Tesla. And you can see these orders are filtered through. Now, the difference is if you look at level 2 and it's saying there's 500 sitting at 185.17, that doesn't necessarily mean they will appear on the time and sales, right? So you could pull that order on the level 2, or that order could get filled. If the order gets pulled, it won't appear on time and sales. If the orders get filled, it will appear on time and sales because it was visible on the level 2. It will be blue or red, depending on whether it was a buy or a sell at that time. Everything else is filled in between. Those in between orders are only orders that can get filled on a dark pool. So if you look at the way that I'm working here with the buy side pools, that's exactly what I'm trying to target, is those midpoint entries that come in. And that's when the tape changes. So if you to look at this and say, well, actually I can see the reds and the blues as general visible buy and sell sides. Everything else that prints off this tape in white is in between the bid and the ask, and is probably coming from a dark side pool. So even though they don't have to visibly show you that amount before they're entering it, those orders will be hidden, but they have to then divulge that they've done them. And that happens pretty instantaneously. There'll be a microsecond delay before that gets printed on the tape. But that's what I look for. So I'm looking for the tape to speed up with bigger orders to identify that dark pool liquidity. And tomorrow, when we're going to go into this a little bit further, you'll understand why I particularly look for that. But I think the terms of order that you would look at, you'll be used with a limit order, a stop order. The type of orders that you can place on a dark liquidity pool are conditional orders. Means you can throw, I've got to get this SGE off the tape, it's screaming at me. Is that, yeah, it's not just a limit order to sell at X price. You can have conditional orders where you can dictate exactly what kind of order you want to execute. For example, if I was a big player and I was worried that people, other players or hedge funds were trying to front run me when I'm putting huge orders into the market, then perhaps I would actually put a conditional order in to say, okay, I want the national bid price on this, but actually I want you to delay me by 350 milliseconds. I want you to add latency to my orders so they can't be front run. So all these institutions get very, very specific conditional orders that they can use. And this is where the term algorithm, is kind of coined, all the time, in this past year, thanks to a few YouTubers as well that have helped with that. And yes, of course, there are algos in the market, and it is algorithms that run huge institutional orders in order to, you couldn't give a client's order 350 milliseconds of latency without an algorithm running that for you. It's just not possible to do as a human. So it's a whole lot of orders going into this dark pool, but it's the amount. It's just over 50%, and we're in it as retail traders. That's the issue, right? They get such a discount on placing huge volume through these venues that it's negligible. The cost is negligible compared to what you would pay executing on an exchange. So we do think that our orders are going through exchange. We will pay the exchange fees, we will pay those routing fees, but actually there's a much cheaper way of doing it, but unfortunately we can't get access to those pools. Now, just to take a look, so that if we look at the SEC, so the SEC is kind of like trying to make sure this is all legit. right? That dark pools are legit, and they're perfectly legal, by the way, as a service for institutions.
Mm-hmm.
So if we look at the SEC, and I'm going to look for those ATN, like I said, they're called alternative trading systems, and then I want the N is the form that they have to publish. And if we come here on the SEC website, look, here they are. So the one that I used to have when I was at Credit Suisse, which will be no longer because obviously it was taken over, was Crossfinder. So Credit Suisse had Crossfinder. That was its dark pool. And sometimes if you was a retail player on your broker would choose whether or not it wants to route its orders directly to exchange or cheaper to a dark pool liquidity provider. And in which case you could get a better feel whilst doing this. But there are lots, I think there's about 30 of these guys in the market or so. Bids Trading is quite a well-known one. But yeah, BNP, Paribas got one, BNP's got one, Citi's got one. They've all got one. It's all called it's all called, different names for their institutional. JP Morgan's got two here. So there's plenty of providers that are out there. It is legal. But I think tomorrow we'll delve in a little bit more about it onto those types of conditional orders that can be placed and have a look at some of the guidelines set out as part of this dark pool. See if we can't shed a bit of light on the dark pool for us retail traders now. So that's what we got for dark pools today.
All right, great recap there, Scott. And definitely dark pools is something that is not talked about often. So definitely smash the like if you guys enjoy us touching a space that usually just doesn't even get talked about. So definitely for those new traders, look into it, understand it so that you can understand how order flow works. And I always say this, Scott, that everyone was super happy about free commissions, right? Well, the truth is that nothing in life is free, right? There's always somebody paying it somewhere. So definitely with free commissions, yes, we got more order flow, but to me, that was high frequency trading, right? And high frequency trading is a good thing, but can also be a negative when they have advantages of using things like the dark pools, right? To get bigger orders through when we're stuck, showing our hand essentially. It's kind of like playing poker and your hand is flipped open.
Yep.
That's literally what it's like, guys. It's like playing poker, but the dealer can see what you have.
Yeah, that's it. And the high frequency trading has made the market absolutely more efficient. So, it's pretty good for the market, wanting an efficient market. But sometimes it's the inefficiencies that create the reward for us and the volatility. So, there's less of that about when those kind of algorithms are running in those pools. But that's why I focus on trying to get in with those pools as to fighting them. And the way I find that easier to do is to just keep tracking them as we go throughout the session or on a bigger time frame. But obviously on a live show, we're going to do them intraday, right, to try and help you guys out.
Yeah. We'll see what's going on here in the overall market. It's just hanging in there, right? It seems like it just wants to hold on the 5 minute. We'll see which direction it picks. It's 10:49. We've been with you guys since 9 a.m. Smash the like if you guys have been enjoying this stream. And definitely, we want to get more traders here. So if you're listening in on, let's say, Twitter, you want to get a little bit more active, you can also come in on the YouTube side of things. We're always live there. You can comment. You can jump in and do more things, but definitely smash the like, guys, out there and hit that share button. Let everybody know this is a community that's going to support you. Find some action in the market. We're not here trying to, sell Scott and I's course on how you can do bull flags and win $1 million, but we will be here battling with you guys every single day in the market so that you guys can learn from our process. Definitely smash the like. Let's maybe do a little recap in just a second here, and we'll get you guys out of here at 11.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm just looking at this SGE. I think Tesla, unless it becomes a market play now with Tesla, unless I've got this push up here. I've got a stop here on this guy on SGE at 303. Oh, it's whether or not we can hold this. I've just moved that to 308 just to give me a little bit more space if this double tops out or just wicks me. But like I said, that's on the I'm selling the sell side. I did not cover on this. I was hoping to get down here to 12, but the money come in as I was doing that little segment and has pushed it up. Stop was up here at 303. I've just moved it out to 308 right now. Need them short sellers to come back in to smash that down, but this will be the third time, so I'm not sure they're going to be that keen. And we have tapped into this, right? So effectively, in terms of liquidity now, they can run through this as quick as they like now. It has gone. Doesn't mean it can't reverse, but in terms of selling into that pressure, I would argue that that is now, kind of been and done. So let's see if they run this. If they do, I will be out as soon as 308 my stop here on SGE.
All right, guys, stepping up to the plate on Apple short here. Apple short 182.61. Looking for the market to start coming down. I've been seeing it kind of try to break. Now it could break to the upside too. It's in that in-between stage where I feel like no one really has the advantage right now, but that's just because there's like that equally balance right now. Let's see what happens. Which way does the market want to go is one thing that I'll be looking at here with Apple. See if it starts to break. Wanted to start getting back here towards that 182 level that we were looking at earlier. And if that 182 level could break, then yeah, this chart could really start to crack. Definitely back above 183 is actually the bullish move. So both sides of here could be starting to work. We'll find out. It's kind of in that in-between stage. For me, what that means is keeping it really tight. We'll find out what we get. It's one of those days where I took a couple of trades, but not mad at myself at all. I've only lost $26. And a lot of the times it's just going to be me trying to stay break even, trying to keep working the mathematical advantages in my favor. Eventually the accuracy hits and we start to make a move. Love Southwest Airlines. All right. So American Airlines is not doing too bad. We got back above 14. And of course, this is a swing trade that I have on, guys. So I'm looking for reloads back to 14 now that we're above 14. You guys, I was talking about this earlier. And a lot of this was also based on save, probably not getting the trade that it expected. There's other airlines too that are going to keep on watch. Delta, other plays there. But back to you, Scott. What are you looking at?
I'm just trying to, I think everyone's on Nuvo today and they're struggling to on the platform why it isn't on there and only the warrants are. So there's a macro that runs in the platform. Obviously there's thousands of stocks and we try to keep the best ones on as much as possible. I always would trade the pool looking at that back back 2-3 years ago. And, some of the tickers on the small caps were quite sparse. You'd be a bit disappointed. This is the first one I've seen in a long time, NUVO, but there's a macro that runs that should pick these up either on new issue day or as that volume comes in if it's not already on the book. But yeah, I can only assume that hasn't picked it up this morning or prior, that it's got the warrant and it hasn't got the actual underlying. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but I couldn't grab that one today either, guys. Apologies for that.
All right, Tesla heading right back towards that 184. SPY makes that a move for 514.50. Now I want to see if it can come and take out the 514s on the downside. That's for the SPY to really start breaking down here and start to crack. So you see this rejection. This was like that bullish attempt to break out here, where some bulls probably getting trapped on that attempt here. So now I'm looking for the market to start washing here and moving itself back to 514, which is down here on the support. We'll see what happens. That's a big watch for me. And we can do a little bit of some recap for me. It's not going to be long here, guys. I'm going to do a really quick one. Then I'll go to Scott here. Let me just share a different screen to show you guys here. Of course, trades today. I'm overall down about 38 on the account, but battling, guys. Last week, Root definitely got me back in it. So just going to continue to battle. You guys see the trade executions right here. Lost about $9 on that first Apple. then lost it about 11 on that TCBP trade, but not a bad day overall. Keeping it very, very small because I didn't see much edge in the market. All right, now Apple's starting to work here in my favor. I'm going to be able to take some off here in just a second here. Let's go ahead. Let's try to take some off as we start to break towards the 182 area. I can take about a quarter or half of it off here. Let's do half of it in a second just to try to cover my day, right? Let's see if we can get to 182s or 182.10s here, and then I can take a majority of it off here. Apple, come on. Come on. Break it down. So you guys see here the trade and how I set it up, right? You guys see the shorts earlier. I got out right here. Then I went hammered on it again. Let's see if we can break towards that 182.20. Start going into that 182.20 range, 182.10s range. And then I can take some off here. Big part of it is the SPY overall, but I'm going to go and kick it to you, Scott, to maybe do a little bit of some recap. So definitely let's take a look at some of the action that you did today and what you traded.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Okay, I've just got ticked out of SGE. Look, so you know those plays. I'm waiting for the benchmark hit, the retest into the sell side liquidity pool, and the foul, and that's when I want to get in. And that's exactly when I got in. My target was down here at the 209. Like, we have to anticipate that one of these buy side pools is going to foul if I'm getting short. I'm not just looking for kind of 10, 15 cents on this. I want the 30 to 50 cents. And unfortunately, like I said, that was tacked out there. As this went to foul, it looked like it was going to foul and do this. And I brought my stop, as I was saying, it from 308 there and just brought it down to kind of 3. But nevertheless, I would have been taken out at 308 as well. I was just trying to manage that risk there as the market was moving down. Then we wicked up, and then we've got like that kind of death candle that comes in. But that's what it looks like right now. But remember, that money's been coming on the tape all morning for SGE. And we continue to hold the most recent buy side from this 236 up to 290, up to 297. So yes, that looks super powerful for a drop and may well be the high of day. But we've still right at this minute held the buy side liquidity. So let's see what happens on this one. But I haven't just got back into that trade because, you know, it was my perfect execution. It was a perfect stop out, and that's how it was on SGE. Now Tesla, didn't play as well. I think that was an okay play for me on Tesla as well. Let's bring this up so you can see the levels I'm playing with as well. So Tesla was one that almost double confirmed the buy side. I was in this. Did I add to this? No, I was in from a 185 on the first level as it turned round here. So that was a double bottom into that level. It rejected off, and I was getting in at that 185, willing to risk the lows of here, and saw that candle at the lows, just tapping into kind of 183. And then that started to work out pretty quickly, and my target was up here at 186. It didn't turn around. Mitch, did you get into Tesla? Well, it was just ahead of you called 186, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. It was 186 for the short area, and I never was able to get it back. But it's coming back down into that space where you can see the flush come in now. So it's kind of hard to try to call it long right now. It's looking like it's about to break that 183.50s and really kind of give up that opening drive that it did earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's, a cover of a trade there. So for me, again, it was poignant because this liquidity level was fully tapped into on all sides. So then I was putting my new swing in. So for me, that's like, if that cracks, we've got momentum coming into the downside. So I'm definitely covered. So I covered the trade right there, as you can see, exactly that level under the box. My third play, which was my first play. And that's why it's kind of, we know we was trying to kind of push some of these plays today.
All right, guys, going to take half off here on Apple here, guys, in just a second here. Let's go ahead. Boom, just took off half there, guys. Trying to pay myself. Now I'm only down $2 on the day and still have 50 shares of Apple from 182.60s. Looking for it to continue breaking down and making my profits for the day, right? Sometimes the stair step ladder is a better approach than taking the elevator, guys. So I'm going to keep trying to do that stair step approach here and keep the risk and return as the focus. Back to you, Scott.
Sure, man. So TCBP was the other play, and that was as it was working out of this buy side pull. Heard that momentum come in on the tape. Mob was kind of with it as well. There's nothing else on at that time, and we got that nice push. Held this little pull back to the momentum moving averages, and off we went when I was taking it off there at kind of 250. When that held up here, I was looking for a similar thing to Mitch down at these levels and did tap into that again. If I bring this, where was we? Yeah, just a little bit further over here as we come down into that. I like that, and to be honest with you, that was pure accident closeout. I double clicked on my position, and that closes your position out. So that's what happened there. But it helped me out there because we didn't know it was going to then fade down to the lows. But that box is still intact at the very lowest level there. But I'm not feeling it right now on TCBP. But that's me for today.
Not a bad trade at all, man. It was a good one on that smaller name. Interesting setup there. So way to nail it, and good talk on the dark pools today. So definitely, if you guys haven't checked out dark pools or understood what goes on there. And another thing is what data providers and things like that you guys can be looking so that you guys can understand the dark pools. So important. All right, guys, it's 11:02. Let's go ahead. Let's wrap it up. Apple's still working for me. I'm going to look around to see what else trades go in the market. Apple now down to 182. So not bad on that short approach. We'll see what happens in Apple later in the day. And of course, keep up with the market overall now starting to decline. Going to that 514 area that I talked about. Will it go further? We'll find out. Stay right here, guys. We'll keep you guys tomorrow. Don't miss us. Hit the subscribe. Yes, you guys see it glowing down below if you're new to the show. And we'll see you back tomorrow. Scott and I will keep battling. And like always, stay right here. Trade the pool.
See you guys.